Have you ever started on a journey but you don't know where you're going? Ever taken the risk to step out your front door and step into the not knowing? Have you ever trusted a promise of something you've never seen? Have you ever had faith to keep watching and waiting for something that's yet to be? We can go to maps and books and ask people and try to do our research, but sometimes answers are given not by human effort or wisdom, but in a moment of heaven on earth. And so we saw a star. Out in the night sky we'd studied for years, something new and bright caught our eye. A different star appeared. And although we didn't know where it would take us, there and then we set off on the road. For we had seen the sign of the newborn king. This was our time to go. And so we just followed the star. Sometimes maps don't cut it, and logic doesn't explain it. Sometimes you're called to just trust the peace that sits deeply in your stomach. As you walk a road that's not been walked before, with your only light being the shine of a star, there's a courage that comes with a handmade sign declaring, God is not so far. And so we kept on following. Kings sought to kill this newborn king. Rulers of lands were threatened by him. We saw many people immediately react against this baby's coming, as if they knew this child was different, that this child would shake up everything. Never did we imagine there would be so much death surrounded by a birth. Yet I suppose God had hinted that death would be significant in our gifts of gold, frankincense and myrrh. We didn't know this journey would take us so long and so far, but that's what happens when you set off in faith. We just followed the star. And on the day the star stopped moving and rested over the place, we knew the day had come that we'd meet God face to face. You can't imagine the excitement and joy of knowing we had arrived at the place where we'd in faith been travelling to for years, knowing who would be inside. So we grabbed our gifts for the child and we entered the house of the king. And before we could think we were on our knees, all we could do was worship him. Pouring out my mouth was thanks to God that we should live to see the day that God would move into our world so that everyone might be saved. And we're crying now. We're lost for words. No map or book could have prepared our hearts for what it was like to meet God as human, the hope of the world, love in person. And we knew that from that day we'd never be the same. The reason for our existence had utterly changed. We would journey back to the east, but our faith would remain in the one we found under the star. Because sometimes maps don't cut it, and logic doesn't explain it. Sometimes you're called to just trust the peace that sits deeply in your stomach. As you walk a road that's not been walked before, with your only light being the shine of a star, there's a courage that comes with a handmade sign declaring, God is not so far.